Hi guys. So I just had almost my entire family here for 6 days. That's a lot of family. And I actually quite like my family. Of course, 6 days of them can be a lot, and it's different. I don't have kids. When I leave a room, when I go back into that room, how I left it is how it is. Whereas when you've got, oh gosh, how many kids were there? I don't know, 5, 6, 8, I'm not sure. Kids, and then you leave a room and you walk back in 10 minutes later, it's totally different than the way you left it. And so there was just so much. I mean, so much awesomeness and some frustrating and irritating and annoying and pissy times. And, it just gave me this huge awareness, something I'd actually kind of started being aware of earlier this summer, but I didn't really be present with it until this weekend. So earlier this summer, we had hubby's grandkids over to swim. Now, one of the things you may know about me is that I love to swim, and I have only just really, since we got the swimming pool, started to realize I'm kind of different. There's not a lot of people, and there's not a lot of adults who love to swim. However, when 4 granddaughters came out, 3 of which are, the 14, 16, and 17, I think, something like that, those ages. And then 10, I think, is the youngest. So the 10-year-old was thrilled to be swimming. And the other 3 came with all their hair and their makeup done, and there was no way they were getting into the swimming pool, and they just want to go home and be with their friends. And it was just so, oh my gosh, I was so frustrated and annoyed and just wanted to throat punch them. And I started to realize then how much things change, and maybe I don't acknowledge when they change. And I'm speaking specifically about people. So before they came, I had this picture in my head, as we may say, of they're still like 6 and 8 and 10 or whatever ages. I was then. I wasn't present with what is now and who they be now. I mean, everybody changes, and kids that are growing up, I mean, there's so much. They're so different now. And I mean, I have made a rule. I have a rule at my house now. If you don't want to be here, you don't come. And I have let all the parents that might bring their kids know that, because I have no desire to have kids sitting around asking when they get to go home. That's not fun for me. But also the recognition that, those specifically those 3 girls, they've changed. They're different. They're not the 6-year-olds that I remember them as. And it was I just started to be aware of that. And then having my family here for 6 days, I started to be aware of where I'd done that to them also, specifically, again, the kids, because, I've known them since the moment they were born, a lot of them, and still going back to, or not even going back to, but in my world, they're still that age, right? So my one niece, who's just totally loving shopping now, there was a time you couldn't get her shopping. And when we were like, oh, we're going to go shopping this day, and then not this day, and not this day. And then when the first not shopping day came up, that quickly became a shopping day. And it was like, in my head, I'm like, what? No, we're not shopping today. But that was because I was operating on who she was before. And so it's just been this huge awareness, which is still unraveling, as you can tell, of where I have those expectations of not only other people, but of course of me also. Where am I expecting me to be like I was even 10 seconds ago, to like what I liked last week or last month or last year? How often do we just put it all as this is who we are, right? We have that big definition instead of who am I today, and what grand and glorious adventures can I have? Which is an access consciousness question to ask every day. Because truly, who are we today? Expecting anyone, whether you're 6 or you're 60 or whatever, to be who they were yesterday, it's actually really unkind. To expect myself to be who I was yesterday is really unkind. So this is just I'm really in this space of wow, the willingness to be aware of where I'm doing it for people, but also the willingness to just let it go. Like, who are they today? What would they like today? I know having, oh gosh, I don't even know how many people were here. Let's say 20. I'm not sure there's that many, 15 to 20 people here. The expectation that we would all have, the same plan or the same desires to do the same things at the same times. Like, that's kind of crazy when I think about it now. If you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, it would have made total sense. So it's like, truly, like, who are you today? Who are you today? Not for tomorrow and not from yesterday, but who are you today? What do you love today? What can you choose today that would create more for you right away? What can you choose today that would create more for the planet right away? So just wanted to share my thoughts, and yeah, what else is possible that we've never even considered? And also a huge thank you to each and every one of you that took time to say happy birthday to me. I am so incredibly grateful. I just was absolutely inundated in the best way with all of the texts and Facebook messages and Facebook posts and videos and all sorts of awesomeness for wishing me a happy birthday. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have an awesome week, and I look forward to chatting with you next week.